Hello everybody, how are we? Welcome along to WD18, the Watford fan channel with Sam Ucko, Charlie Zazzera, myself Jacob Culshaw for the final time of the 24-25 season. Charlie, you've got a massive smile on your face. Why?
It's because I'm in the Mad Squirrel, I've got a beer and the season's over with.
It's done.
I'm so looking forward to a break. It feels like a bit of a slog, especially the end of the season, and yeah, just want a couple of weeks off, to be honest.
Sam, describe the season in one word.
Luton get battered everywhere they go.
That's not one word.
Oh no, too many.
That's four.
Listen, too many.
If you had to describe the season in one word, Sam, what would it be?
Improvement.
Improved.
I'll go with improvement. Yeah.
Charlie?
1 point better than last season.
1 point better than last season, but I just think generally, I'm speaking for myself here. I don't speak for other people, but I feel the connection is back a bit there. I like this Watford team, and I feel like generally just the vibes, maybe up until the last 5 games where it's fallen off a bit, I think the vibes have been better, and I think it's something to build on for next year.
What I will say is, before we get into it, we've got the reaction and all that jazz. We're going to touch on Sheffield Wednesday. We're going to have a little season review, but we'll also probably do that in a bit more depth at some point if we want to. I know Charlie's giving me the eyes here. But also, it is the From the Rookery End's 15th birthday party, which I wanted to mention here in the Mad Squirrel. It is your post-match prime, brought to you by the Mad Squirrel, in the Mad Squirrel. We're with the lads. You can't see it, but behind the camera, there are Watford fans everywhere. Not only after the news today that was coming out of Vicarage Road and the Watford fans are going mental at full time, but actually it's an amazing moment for these guys who have done it for so long. Since
maybe towards the end of the video we'll grab
one of them in, but the 2010-11 season was the first time they did that podcast, so a huge shout for the From the Rookery.
How old were you two for their first podcast?
Oh, 8, 9?
8 or 9, yeah. 8 or 9 years old.
And I remember the dulcet tones of Rookery Mike from that point onwards. I was hooked. Lads, let's start with today. It was before the game, 13th versus 14th or 12th versus 13th. The game meant absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of it. Clev's actually mentioned, Sam, about improving on last season. What was your top takeaway from that one, if any?
God, I won't sing the Luton get battered song again. To be honest with you, I was more following the Luton game and the Portsmouth game than the game today, and had a great time watching it with Charlie. I don't know, it was just a bit of a non-event. I'm sorry, that's a terrible answer and not the best analysis I'll ever give, but I'm happy we've beaten last season's points total. Is that a takeaway?
It was giving testimonial for the last 20 minutes, wasn't it? I mean, people were switching off.
It was a good kick around for a man loser. I thought he was good, spraying it around, got the assist for 𝗗cis𝘄's goal. Yeah, I felt like second half, I thought it was going to be a classic Watford this season. Bad first half, better second half, and we had a bit of momentum like at the start of second half. 𝗗cis𝘄hes hit the post, 𝗗cie_𝘄ʰs had a good shot saved, but they kind of petered out, and I said it last week on a croaky from the Rookery End performance. We've just run out of steam. I think we've run out of steam weeks ago, and we're asking for the players to really, really dig deep and give a tiny bit of credit to Sheffield Wednesday, because their season's just as done, and I thought they were at least compact and you can still see fighting. But what did you think? What's your favourite bit about
I'll tell you what, Sheffield Wednesday fans, by the way, were absolutely superb, I thought. In terms of great numbers, the noise was superb, especially for a game which meant nothing to both teams.
I just want to say on that as well that I'm sure we'll have a discussion about the ownership in the summer generally, but yeah, hoping that Sheffield Wednesday get their issues sorted. We had some great news before kick-off about Reading finally getting bought as well, so yeah, credit to the Sheffield Wednesday fans who, you know, we don't know what's going to happen with Danny Roll, but they made a lot of noise, and fair play to them.
To be honest, when I was watching this game today, I was kind of working out our squad for next season. I was less really bothered about the performance. I mean, Loser did what Loser does best. Great ball to 𝗗cis𝘄₃ does well. But I was going through the team one by one going, will they be here next season? And I thought if we keep most of the players on that pitch and add a few, I think we can improve again next season.
You know what we should do? We should do a video titled Keep, Sell or Loan soon.
We should. and people love it. But I don't know about you lads, that's how I watched this game today. I didn't really watch it for the Watford performance, because at the end of the day, if we didn't turn up, there wouldn't have been any dramas. If we did turn up, it's an unexpected surprise. It was a bit in between. But actually, I was looking at it, Sam, going, how do we improve for next season? So we won't do keep, sell or loan, but when you look at that team today, what areas immediately stand out they need to be sorted?
Are you going to say the elephant in the room?
Which one? The striker?
Which
Which one's the
I'll broach the elephant in the room. I agree with you. I'm looking at it from a really positive. I'm trying to look at it from a positive outside. We had news in the week reported by Andrew French, who had his last shift today, so he probably deserves a mention for his brilliant coverage. Mentioned that we want to keep 𝗗cie𝘄παιs, Caleb Wiley, and if you look at that back four, Selvig on a permanent, Wiley, who I thought again was good today, 𝗗cie𝘄παιs, Pollock, 𝗗cie𝘄παιs didn't have his best game. That's a good solid shape. But the elephant in the room for me is Tom 𝗗cie𝘄παιs, because it doesn't matter about players. It matters that he's going to be at London Colney taking the team at the end of pre-season. So I think there's some really good potential there, especially with the age profile. And now we've got consistency of personnel. And I just want us to be starting that season. And I would be filled with a lot of positivity if 𝗗cie𝘄παιs is in charge at start next season.
What are your guts telling you? Do you think this time not this time next year, but come August, Tom 𝗗̈ely will still be here?
I have to be honest, lads, and I hate reading into things like this, but I did think it was weird at full time that he didn't speak to the fans, or at least just a thanks for the support this season. It did just throw me a little bit.
I'll tell you what done me. He was taking it, which he normally is a bit more, but I was a bit worried by him kind of saying, put his hands up.
Are we reading too much into it? Are we?
Yeah, we probably are. But 𝗗̈cie is, I'd say, quite a quiet, reserved guy. I don't think he's one to get on a mic.
I know Ryan Andrews.
If I had to push you for a yes or no, will he be here come August? My gut is no, unfortunately. I don't want that to be the case.
I'm worried, but Jacob, come with some positivity.
That is a hospital pass I've ever seen one. Heart says yes, head says no.
Culshaw on the fence, like it.
Splinters.
I hate to say it, but keep your eyes out for the manager potential rating tier list. Another one for this year.
God, we're plugging everything today.
You can.
Actually,
I won't be there.
It can't get worse, can it? It can. Sam, just plug this beer for us. I didn't even mention the front two here. We've got the logo. Shout out to the Mad Squirrel. They upgraded this one as well. But we've got the two Men's 12 World Cup WD18 beers still available. Sam?
Still available, yeah.
Let's have a review quickly.
Some full-on ASMR there. It's absolutely lovely. 10 out of 10. Tastes like League One.
Is it?
Although better than League One, actually.
Do you know what? I'll be honest, lads. Funny. Very funny. There is part of me which does think I'm going to miss a derby day next year.
I got hammered about this in the pub before.
The stress. I was done.
I do agree, but when we won at home 3-0...
Standards on the floor, Ucko.
When we won at home 3-0...
What game were you watching, Jacob?
I'd won too many of these beers as you get. No, look, I have to be honest, there's part of me which goes, the buzz of that game was one of the moments of the season, after when we won that. I mean, it's, without a doubt, it's an interesting dilemma. Is there part of you with Luton getting relegated, actually, where you look at it and go, I'm going to miss out on that next season? But then Kenilworth Road, I remember sitting here thinking, oh, God.
I got hammered about this in the pub. I was like, underrated opinion. I don't mind if Luton stay out, because that's what football's about.
Yeah.
We're a mediocre championship team. We need something to look forward to. But today was funny. Ask for Sam's take.
Sam?
I'm delighted that they're gone, to be honest with you. Listen, small football clubs deserve to be in smaller leagues than the Championship, and I think they're the first team to ever get relegated 2 years in a row in the same kit as well, so absolutely delighted.
That's such a niche stat. That is such a niche... That's DCW's behind the camera, by the way, and that is football. He'd appreciate that on Football Cliches.
Listen, you need the niche stats, and unbelievable. Delighted with the news, and to celebrate, as I was plugging before, make sure to check out the kick-off beer here at the Mad Squirrel, where I can't remember the exact cost of it, but £1 from all sales are going to the 5 charities that we'll be supporting next week at the Mental Health World Cup. So there's still some left in the fridge here. I think you can get them online as well, so make sure to come down and get your kick-off beer.
It was the last game of the season, Charlie. Cheers, Jeff. You walked out of Vicarage Road for the last time.
This season.
I'm not. 100 days till we're back, I think, roughly, over 100. A lot of work to be done. When you come away from this season, You come away from Vicarage Road, you're walking down Occupation Road. How do you reflect on this one?
Yeah, I like Sam's word of improvement for one word, and we've done a Watford, and there's a running trend because of our short-termism and Gino Pozzo, in my opinion, how we start well and we fall off at the end of every season. It'd be great if we have time to kind of look at our predictions, but we had a manager throughout the whole season. At the start of the season, we won a lot of home games, had a lot of last-minute drama. Season's tailed off. I think it's been a positive season.
Positive.
Yeah. I was going to say good, but that's a stretch.
It was interesting as well when I listened to 𝗗cie𝘄παιs' press conference before this. Jeff Doyle and Andrew were giving him an opportunity to talk about the season, and you could tell there was a real and as 𝗗cie𝘄παιs always says, a burning desire to actually plan for next season already, because he was saying when he did pre-season last time, he had to get all of his ideas across and tactically, whereas he said actually they all know my ideas now. It's going to be about physically being able to match other teams, and he mentioned it again, the dark arts and being a bit more championship savvy. Sam, he mentioned though, a long-winded way of asking about getting a few more of your 26, 27-year-old championship proven players. Can you see that happening?
Jake Livermore was at the game today. Who knows?
I'll tell you what, he looks
with this club.
He looks hench, by the way.
I know. We were saying how tight his t-shirt was.
Hench.
Yeah, the tight top on.
Yeah, look great, Jake. I think that's the.
I'm sure he's watching.
I think that was the. I don't want to say that's the reason why the season tailed off. I feel like we both overachieved and underachieved at the same time this season, because I think our league position is fair with how we overachieved it up until January, underachieved probably for the rest of the season. I think we've come bottom of the form table actually since Christmas, which worries me, going into next season.
Is the worry it seeps into next season?
I think so. We've obviously been very unlucky with injuries, and we've had a lot of suspensions in the second half of the season, but I do think having more players with that championship know-how and that nous and that, sorry for my language, shithousery in a way, that so many teams have used against us, I think will help us a lot next season. So yeah, definitely worth looking at.
When you look at a team like Sheffield Wednesday today, Barry Bannon, what's a player he is, by the way? Could we? Even like Josh Windass, Patterson, like
Shea Charles.
He's a really good player, and I just thought that experience, and that's why I thought we couldn't run them over, because they just had little bits and bobs. But yeah, at the moment I'm not thinking too far. Well, I'm not thinking too far in the future. Awards. Firstly, Rocco Vata goal of the season.
Had to be. Wait, who did you vote for?
Who did I vote for? No, I did vote for that, because he followed it up against Preston.
I actually didn't. I don't disagree with it, but I voted 𝗵𝗵s free kick at Millwall.
Scenes on the pitch.
Oh no, unbelievable scenes. I think, were you at Fulham away?
Wait, do you think that's a better goal than the Vata one?
I think I voted for it partly because we never see us score free kicks either, and it was right in the top corner. I think with Vata's goal, were either of you at Fulham? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I haven't felt a stand shake in a long time.
4,000 Watford fans, wasn't it?
Vata scored that. It was fully shaking the ground. It was unbelievable. What a finish as well. And yeah, shout out to Rocco, because probably hasn't played as much as he's wanted to in the at times this season. But I think if Georgie does leave, which we expect him to, I think we'll see a lot more of Rocco next season. And hopefully he can step up and build on what he's shown this season already.
No Georgie in attendance. Have we seen the last of him? Because 𝗗cie𝘄παιs says he expects him to be here next season, but I'd imagine that's a negotiation tactic, isn't it?
Yes. Who knows? He was great this season, really good. I call him like the ultimate eye test footballer. The stats might not go for him, but when you watch him, you understand he could play in the Premier League.
It is a bit disappointing though. He's come out with 2 goals and 4 assists or something. Not great, the numbers. I know eye test.
When you're playing with Bayo,
I do agree with you that eye test shows that he's a Premier League player, but I do feel like we could have seen slightly more from him at the same time.
I don't want to go into the underlying numbers, but I reckon he's got high expected assists.
It's the story all season with George, though, isn't it? It's just his final ball and then product. But would it be better with a better striker? We never know. Look, we touched on Rocco Vata winning goal of the season, Imran Louza winning player of the season, Pollock in seconds, third 𝗗cie𝘄παιs. Interestingly though, when we watched the socials, the Watford players on the whole voted for Pollock, I counted, over Louza.
I didn't see that.
So the teammates voted for Pollock.
Actually, the funny story was last night we were messaging on our WhatsApp and we're talking about player of the season. And I'll let Sam say what comment he had, but he made me feel very, very old.
I'm trying to think what my comment was. God. It's left my head now. What was the comment?
So you two were like, yeah, Imran Louza should win it. And then Sam goes, oh yeah, Matty Pollock for all your dads. And I voted for Matty Pollock. He ended me there.
What's the age range to become a Yadar?
What I said was,
He ended me.
I think everyone thought it would be clear. Like, I think everyone agreed with the top three, and then you probably put Bar fourth. Everyone agreed that was the top three, but I think everyone thought it would be 𝗗cie second, Pollock third. But I was like, I think Pollock will come second because a lot of your dads would have voted for him. So yeah, here we are. But yeah, congrats. I mean,
Had to be Louza, didn't it?
yeah, it had to be Louza. And again, where I was with Louza, not just at the start of the season, but over the last 3 years, different player and playing with confidence. The turnaround's been immense, and he makes football look so easy. And I just really hope he stays next season because he's been brilliant. So.
You've got a theory, haven't you, Sam? You've got a theory about Louza staying.
I think he'll stay. I think he could be made club captain. If Dan Backman leaves, which if a club comes in, I reckon we'd let him go.
Just turned 26, Louza.
I know 𝗗cie𝘄παιs would be the probably the first choice, but it wouldn't shock me if Louza was made club captain as part of a new contract.
I could see it.
No, he's done amazingly, and you can tell he's a top tier footballer. But I voted for Matty Pollock because I think
Charlie Yadar
I
Zazzera.
haven't got any hair, and I just think from the start of the season to the end of the season, consistently he has been immense. You could probably count the number of bad games he's had definitely on one hand. Has he had more than one or two bad games? He's shown the unreal attitude, application. For me, I think he's a leader on the pitch, even above Louza or anyone else. I think he embodies the leader, might not have the armband, and for a player of his age, and the thought of him and a banquet next season.
That would be huge for us, wouldn't it?
I'm fortunate enough that I've spoken to Matty quite a lot, and he loves. He loves Watford. He loves this football club. And if Imran Louza's not made captain next year as part of a full-time deal, give Matty P the armband, I think.
Do you know in the in-between is when it's time for another Tara update?
Beep, 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 beep.
Time for another Matty update.
Sorry. Sorry. What threw me? Mama winning young player.
But what? Who's the alternative? Rocco
robbed.
Is there an age to it? I'm really excited.
You have to be young. You have to be a young player. So what's that, below 23?
Have you not seen the young player at the PFAs? They give it to bloody 24-year-old.
20. To be fair, Pollock probably could have just got in that.
I thought. No, but I think it's been a really important season for Vata and Ďumbia. They haven't lit it up and they haven't been that consistent. But this season would have been really good for them. Same as last season for 𝗗cie, understanding what the league is. So hopefully next season those guys can really kick on.
I think one of the biggest things, there were two things I wanted to mention. Firstly, Louza mentioning in the post-match interview about how he started the season with the under-21s, which is an unbelievable story. The average age of our team.
They're just babies.
If you took 𝗗cie𝘄παιs at 36 out of it, I think the average age would be 23.
Yeah, it's mad.
And it's 25 at the minute.
Absolutely. And that's the context of what we've been dealing with the whole season, with injuries and stuff like that. We haven't mentioned Quadro Bar. Could he have won Young Player of the Season? He's been devastated.
That's such a shout.
He's been devastated, and if we can keep him fit for a whole season, it's a different. Anyway, awards. Again, we're struggling for time, but shall we try some alternative awards?
Unsung hero.
Unsung hero, Sam.
I was torn here between three people. I would have gone Scott Tingley, the groundsman, but he has been recognised this week with the best ground in the EFL, I think, or in the Championship. So huge congrats to him. I'm going to go with my boy Jonathan Bond, who I know left a few weeks ago to go back to the MLS, but whenever he came in this season, I thought he was absolutely brilliant, particularly Derby away, winning 2-0, keeping a clean sheet. So yeah, I'm going to go with Bondy for Unsung Hero.
Unsung hero, I'm going Tim Coombs.
Like it. Very good.
He needs his plaudits. He needs his flowers.
Yeah. And he was on top form again today. So Tim, shout out. My unsung hero, if you guys haven't heard of him, is a Watford fan called Gav. He's a wheelchair user, and he has been to every game this season and probably for the last however many seasons. And I've seen his brother's active on Twitter and social, and post him leaving the house when it's
doorbell videos. I've seen them.
Pitch black at night, and you see him wheeling himself. And I just
What a
think
man.
that is proper fandom. And I know someone got Supporters of the Year, but that level of dedication and commitment in the situation that he's in, he deserves a lot of praise, because we're not the easiest club to support, and it's probably a bit of like a reprieve for him. But yeah, Gav, cheers.
What was the most angry you were after a Watford game this season?
Plymouth away, Andre Gray.
Head was on Mars. I was in Australia for that.
Luton away was up there, to be fair.
Luton away, I was fuming.
Moment of the season?
Huh?
Moment of the season?
Portsmouth. he's moaning. My moment was Portsmouth, Boxing Day, limbs. That win.
Commentary away, the full-time whistle. Everyone together.
Wow.
Yeah,
great.
one of the most powerful moments in recent Watford history, I think.
Biggest stinker. What are you going for?
In terms of
And
what?
the nominees are.
Are we talking just on the pitch? Or off it?
However you interpret it. Sam?
Biggest stinker?
I'm not going to say the one that I know both of you think I'm going to say.
What are you going to say?
Jebbo. Not Jebbo. I've got two. I mean, the whole Luton away experience, I think, goes down as a stinker. I've gone with David Webb, the referee from Manchester City versus Watford. Ooh. Is that what you've gone with?
No, but I like it. I really
I love that.
City
I
versus
love
Watford
that.
For disallowing that Quadro bar goal.
That's such a good shout.
Yeah, and all round the refs this season have been really
I don't think
poor.
that could be. That tops a lot.
I feel bad about mine, and he's won 2 awards. Sorry, vacuum bio. I just think he stunk the place out.
Brilliant.
Funniest moment, Sam?
Funniest moment, a difficult one, because it hasn't been the funniest season in some ways. I mean, you could go with the obvious, which I'm sure one of you two will go with, but I've gone with Bayo's goal away at Plymouth, where our fans just didn't celebrate for about 5 or 10 seconds. Yeah, I've gone with that.
God, you're on fire today.
I've got 2. Again, another award for Bio, scoring 4 against Sheffield Wednesday.
Funny. And also, him taking the phone, having a selfie. I mean, you just couldn't write it, really.
But my other one, QPR away, Dan Batman on the floor.
To be fair,
I don't want
We were together for that one.
No, can I just rewind to the previous award about the most angry moment of the season? This man's head was on Mars.
Best away day. Last alternative award.
I think Millwall's up there. I think Millwall's really up there.
That's mine.
Weather's good. Unbelievable limbs.
I did say before Cov. I just think it was one of the most emotional endings to a game I've been at a Watford game, which was great. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. We've got Charlie, who's now just trying to grab some guests for us here.
Hello, Jacob. And here we have.
This is a real. Oh my god! I'm going to thank you there.
It's not 2 of the finest gentlemen associated with Watford Football Club. Introduce yourself, please. For people who don't know, John.
Yeah, my name's John. I present a podcast called From the Rookery End.
From the Rookery End. And this is why it's so busy today. I mean, it's all going on at the minute. If you can see behind us. For people who don't know, why is it a special day for From the Rookery End?
Well, this is the last home game at the end of our 15th season of doing a podcast. And we just wanted to get together and have a drink for the end of the season, but also like to celebrate the fact that we did 15 years of it. And that was in some ways that seems bizarre, but a great 15 years of football and what to talk about.
Because we said before, I'm trying to introduce a man you know anyway. Not, we know you as well, John, don't worry about that. Most memorable season doing the podcast for the last 15 years, if you had to pick one. You've seen it all.
My favourite was the first Pozzo season under Zola, with the Zola coaster, and how it came out from nowhere. So that was the most fun season. But then that 14-15 season, which we looked back on a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, that was such the most interesting season, I suppose, to sort of chat about, because it was up and it was down and then it was up and up and up and up, and it was great at the end. Well, not the end was rubbish. But I think those two in particular...
It had a bit of everything.
Yeah, but I think what I've thought about more over the last couple of weeks is actually all the things that have happened. The up and down, the FA Cup, the Wembley trips. I mean, how many times have we been to Wembley in the last 15 years? And I asked our friend Ollie Wicken, who does Haunted Heaven, like, what would this have been the best 15 years to chat about and do a podcast about? And I might have convinced him, but we'll find out on our podcast which one he picked. I mean, I know there's a whole thing about GT era, that whole first golden era. Would that have been better? It'd been fun, but would it have been good to chat about? Oh, we won again. Oh, great. Did we win? We won again. But
You can never predict on this podcast. I wanted to bring in the man to my left-hand side, DCW. You all know DCW. He's been on before. I don't think you've been on a podcast before, John. First time, Damien.
15 years in the making.
DCW involved with the Watford podcast from the Rookery End. If you had to pick a moment, a podcast, a game, a year that's special to you doing this podcast, what would it be?
And can it be one that he was at?
Yeah, I have missed most of the big moments in the last 15 years. Yeah, okay.
What's the biggest you've missed?
Well, I missed the Deeney game. I missed the semi-final against Wolves.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
I didn't know.
I was at the semi-final against Palace and the playoff final against Palace.
I think you're
both of those very at the forefront of my mind for the wrong reasons.
I think we've got to stop you coming. You're clearly the unlucky.
Goodness gracious, man.
I know. But I think my favourite season was definitely the 18-19 one. I think for it to culminate with the FA Cup final. Look, I know we lost, but it was a great season, and I remember the game against Spurs that season in early on when we won.
MK.
No, Vicarage Road.
Cathcart. Yeah.
When we beat them and we went fourth. I think it was our fourth win in a row, and we were. We just came flying out the blocks that season, and we just carried on, and it was just, we were a real proper Premier League team that season, and it was great. It was such a good season, and by that point as well, because the early days of the Rookery End pod, it was like once a month. You were only podcasting once a month back then. Back then, we were doing pods after every game, and there were some good ones that season. It was a good season to be involved with, yeah, for sure. But sadly, all the big moments I've been nowhere to be seen.
I didn't know that. I was going to say,
Basically, if Dave's at a game, don't expect fireworks.
next 15 years.
I just think it'll be. We're here. I was here at Managerial on Thursday for the Treasury book launch for the new book.
Yeah.
And Don, who many people might know, he said, "We're going up in 2 years." I mean, what do you mean? What do you know? What have you seen? What's your vision? And he says, "I've just got the feeling. Next year we'll be good. We'll get the playoffs, but we'll lose in the semis, and then we'll go up automatically." And I went, "I'm here for that. I'll
take that. I mean, I'm taking that after a absolutely nothing game, and the sun's out. We've all got beers or whatever. Lads, just to wrap up.
Just one more question. How old were you two when you guys started?
2010-11, I think I would have been 9.
I'd have been 8.
And I still can't grow a beard.
8 years old. Do you know what, though? A couple of things. Firstly, it's nice that it's come full circle with us firmly above Luton Town again, as we were when you started the podcast. But no, a huge thank you to all of you, to Mike, to Adam, to everyone involved with your podcast. It's been a really, really big part of my Watford supporting life, generally, having something to listen to every week, almost having that therapy session every week, listening to, I think, what you call Mike's chicken licking moments, where it seems that nothing else could go wrong, but we find something else that could. So, yeah, looking forward to the next 15 years, hopefully.
The one person who enjoys this podcast the most is Mike's missus, because I get it out of his system every week, and then she can get the calmness out of him. We hear the worst, she gets the best.
I think the beauty of From the Recruit, I'm not just saying it because you guys are here, is because it's got the mixture of the authenticity, and you feel like you're part of the conversation whenever you guys do a podcast. It feels like the type of podcast where you'd have the same conversation if we were sat here after the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of From the Recruit for me. So, anyway, enough smoke. Anyway, look, one thing you want to happen to Watford whilst doing the podcast that hasn't happened yet.
I mean, we're going to need to be going for a very long time, possibly more than 15 years more, but qualify for Europe.
A European tour would be.
Absolutely.
That's it. That is it.
I mean, like say, watching Watford on another landmass, I think that's what I'd like to do. Yeah.
I only just found out one of the pods with Northern Amrabat was recorded in the back of John's car. Unbelievable.
I mean, if you want a pod on another landmass, we might have a pre-season friendly, I don't know, on the Isle of Man or something. Like, you know, that might be what I have to consider.
Scarborough.
Yeah.
John, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Well done, lads.
DCW, what a pleasure. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Zazzera's coming back in to wrap it up.
We need to have a mention for one of our own, Elliot Murray.
Hey, what a boy!
Is he here?
No, he's not. I can't see him.
Elliot Murray, and I'm going to say a little bit on Elliot. So it was before Charlie's time.
BC.
This was
Before
COVID,
Charlie.
COVID time.
Charlie's Zazzera BC.
That is sensational. Elliot was doing a few bits for Vibe. So talented, and
What a beer this is, by the way. Sorry.
no, I mean, is that the?
I've opened the can,
Oh.
yeah. Sorry.
No.
Let Elliot have his moment.
And I remember I messaged Sam going, Elliot, absolutely brilliant on the stuff he does with Vibe. Let's get him on the show. He came on. Number one, he's an absolutely top guy. Number two, he speaks for us so well. Number three, he's knowledgeable. The list goes on. And yeah, he's just one of the best people. So a huge shout out to Elliot, who's moving on to pastures new, which I'll let him reveal. But it's an amazing opportunity, is what I'll say.
Pastures New means we're getting back on the channel next year.
And I think that's what the people would want. I don't want to speak on behalf of you, but I want it to happen.
Could we? Could he?
I believe he's a Spanish speaker, so an exclusive with Alberto Garrido coming soon, maybe.
Oh my word, I'd have a bit of that.
𝗗cie𝘄ဖိs.
One more alternative award, because I forgot what. I mean, I'm more interested in what you'd both say, but best opposition player we've played against.
Harry Bannon.
Do you know what I
Not
thought?
this season.
Oh
yeah, we were in a
I thought Tanaka for Leeds.
I thought Dan James looked like Cristiano Ronaldo against us. And a shout out to Jadon Anthony at Burnley.
I had three down. I had Tanaka, had James Trafford for that game a few weeks ago. I mean, we did play Man City, and seeing Jack Grealish up close earlier in the season. I know he's not had the best season at City, but he was unbelievable.
I thought John Stones was the cut above that.
Different class.
So let's not give them love.
Lads, it's the last one of the season. Anything else you want to end with?
I reckon we should maybe, after a couple of days, come back, maybe here, and do it all again, and do a little keep, loan, or sell video.
Make sure you stay tuned, because that's always our most popular video of the whole year. Sam, final words to close out the 24-25 season content.
It's definitely been a unique one for me, missing 10 games or so while I was out travelling. But just a huge thank you to you two as well for being that weekly therapy and that release, not just from Watford but life in general. And it's always a fun one with all of us, and looking forward to next season as well.
These boys are diamonds. Thank you so much for watching this season. We'll be back, as Charlie said, next week, doing it all over again for 25-26.
Sorry, last shout out. Mental Health World Cup next Saturday at Vicarage Road. £10 a ticket.
Get it in the diary.
Get your tickets, come down. There's going to be some special guests there. You see some football. It's all for a good cause. Should be a belter.
It's going to be a cracker. A lot of money raised so far. You can get involved by donating to the teams, but also, Charlie said, £10 for a ticket on the door. I think it's cheaper for concessions.
Check out the auction. Quadro Bar signed shirt, Rocco Batta signed shirt, Georgie Trafford signed FIFA cards, Oasis tickets, the lot. get involved, all go to a major charity. Should be good.
Should be special. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the post-match pint brought to you by the Mad Squirrel, in the Mad Squirrel, partner with 𝗗cie Minds, and we will see you next season.
You want?
You want?